Well, hello, and welcome to 555. Today we're reading from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 through 2. And it says, "Therefore, since we also have such a large cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us lay aside every hindrance and the sin that so easily ensnares us. Let us run with endurance the race that lies before us, keeping our eyes on Jesus, the source and perfecter of our faith. For the joy that lay before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." You know, after Jesus was baptized, he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. Then Satan tried to come and tempt him. I think a lot of times in the Christian life, we think because we're living for Jesus that everything just should be easy and we have an easy life. But that's not how life is. The Bible even tells us that we're going to face times of trouble. But what do you do during those times? You know, personally, before I started as a children's pastor, I was put through a test. And I was tempted to give up my faith that I had since I was a little girl. But I knew there was more. I knew God had a promise for me. And I'm so thankful that I did push through and endure. And us as Christians, we have to learn how to do that. How do we run this race and not give up when things get hard? Well, in Hebrews, these verses give us three things to do. First of all, in the beginning of this chapter 12, it tells us, since we have such a large cloud of witnesses, it refers back to Hebrews 11 when the author of Hebrews lists different people from the Old Testament who were put through the test, and yet they kept going, they endured, and it reminds us of the promises they had waiting on the other side. Then in these verses, it tells us to lay aside the sin, lay aside the things that easily entangle us. What is it that you feel like you keep going back to, that you know is hindering your relationship with Jesus? And finally, keep your eyes focused on Jesus. That's the one thing we need to do to stay focused in this race, to keep going until we make it to that finish line. So take some time today, read Hebrews chapter 11 and 12, and pray about what is it that you need to let go of that is keeping you from pushing through this race to the finish line.